Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. And I am excited to show you the newest item in the Rando Rob collection. So this arrived Friday or Saturday, I think. And when I show you this item, and of course there's a picture there next to me. Boy, I wish it was that picture. I wish it was one of those old McDonald's playground equipment pieces. You'll say, Rob, I thought you had that. Why wouldn't you have that? Don't you have one of those? And I didn't have one of those. But the story of why, maybe the story's not, I don't know. Let's talk about the story. Let's tell the story. So first of all, let's show the item. And the item is this drinking glass. Now this, you may or may not know, is Big Mac, one of the original Star Wars McDonald's characters. And so as you can see, here he is, Big Mac, and he's whoa, he's on these roller skates, crazy. There's some little line drawings down there showing action. And then we've got this little thing over here, a sign that says speed limit 2 miles an hour. I don't really get that. I don't understand the reference or whatever. And maybe this is because these children are playing. There's a kid, a little line drawing of some kids there having fun on pogo sticks and a tricycle. And they look like they're all having a good time. And then we are back to Big Mac, the officer Big Mac, who was in charge of the McDonald's playground. So, first of all, before I talk about this very specific glass, I want to talk about the McDonald's Land glasses. Now, the very first glasses that McDonald's offered, collectible style glasses, weren't these drinking glasses. These, and I may be skipping some, but these were definitely not first. The first ones were these sports action mugs. And I have the complete set of those, but they're dark. And they have pictures of like Ronald McDonald playing baseball. And there's a hockey one. So there's different sports. The different figures are doing sports. But there's no paint on them. It's just the characters are engraved into these mugs. But apparently they must have sold. And so then McDonald's released their first set of McDonald's drinking glasses. Now there were 6 characters in all. There's Ronald McDonald. Let's see if I can do him without looking up at the shelf that's right over my head. Ronald McDonald, Grimace. You've got Big Mac, Mayor McCheese, the Hamburglar, and Captain, what is his name? Captain Cook? I forget if it's Captain Cook. So you had those 6 characters, and now that I am cheating and looking up, they're all in very boring poses. They're all just standing there, more or less. Ronald McDonald is sitting cross-legged. Grimace is just standing there. Mayor McCheese is just standing there. And so they're very fun collectible glasses. I'm sure you've seen them if you're into retro stuff, or been to a thrift store. You've probably run across them. But those all came out, I believe, in 1977, and then the following year in 1978. It might be 78 and 79, but I think it's 77 and 78. They released 6 new glasses, and it was the same 6 characters, but these are called the Action Series glasses because the first 6 glasses had the 6 characters, but they were all just standing there not doing anything. So in the Action Series, you've got Grimace with a pogo stick. You've got Ronald McDonald jumping over this thing. You've got trying to see what else they're all doing. just a lot of jumping and running and action type things. So those are referred to as the action series glasses, and this is one of those. Now, I have all the, I say collecting drinking glasses. I'll go back a little bit. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you had these glasses or glasses like this in your kitchen somewhere. I don't know anybody who didn't have, some type of decorated drinking glasses, because when you went to McDonald's, you could get these for less than $1. I think the original Star Wars ones were the original Star Wars ones were Burger King, but they were either 49 cents or 99 cents. But these things were all super inexpensive. So you would go and while you were there, you'd buy whatever that week's glass is and take it home. So, I mean, our cabinet had not just Star Wars glasses, not just McDonald's character glasses, but we had strawberry shortcake glasses and Smurf glasses and Garfield glasses and Muppet glasses. And you ended up with all these zillion different kinds of glasses. And I don't know that most people wanted to collect them all. Some people, I'm sure, did. They were like, oh, there's 6 glasses, collect them all. But, a lot of times you would just end up with these odd, random glasses. And especially in the late 80s or definitely in the 90s, all these glasses started getting sold at garage sales. And so I ended up completing some of those collections. Boy, my hair is driving me crazy. Look at this camera. So like I got all the McDonald's glasses. Now I think we had all, I probably had 4 or 5 of the McDonald's glasses. So I completed that collection, right? I know we had all the Star Wars ones. Well, I don't have all the Star Wars ones. Actually, there's 4 Star Wars ones and I don't have any of those. But then there are 4 Empire Strikes Back and 4 Return of the Jedi. And I have both of those. So I don't have the Star Wars ones. Let me look up here. I have a few Great Muppet Caper glasses. I have some Pac-Man glasses. Some of them I've shown on the show. I have the actual Burger King character glasses. So, over the time you just pick these up, especially if you were into retro and nostalgia kind of things. You would go to a garage sale and these would be $1, and you'd go, oh, I'd drink out of Mayor McCheese or whatever, So, anyway, not too long ago, like less than a month ago, I was talking to a friend about these vintage decorated drinking glasses. And of course, what the conversation was about was lead poisoning. So, first of all, I bought, a few years ago, I bought a attachment that went on my air compressor. And it's a thing that sprays air. I mean, well, not an air compressor. You know what that is, but it was like literally a device, an attachment that went on in where I could spray air and I could spray out the floor of my workshop. And it had a thing on there and it said, warning, California warning, this thing might cause cancer. And I went, what? I don't want to put an attachment that's just spraying cancer in my house. But when I looked it up, it said, well, it uses this kind of plastic and California is very sensitive to how much of certain chemicals could go into plastic. And so if that item happens to be sold in California, it has to have this warning, even though there is literally no case of that I've been able to find of anybody touching this plastic or using it in its intended use and getting cancer from it, right? And so someone along the way said, hey, they're using lead-based paint on these glasses. Now, if you were to drink from this area or this area, there's not a problem. But in theory, you could drink from a side. I mean, I don't really drink that way, but, I guess your lips are close to the paint in certain areas. If you drink a glass like this, then you could lick the paint. But what they were more worried about was the paint chipping off. You put this in the dishwasher and then this lead paint chips off and then gets in the glass or on something else. And then, now I don't know what the real number is, but I suspect you could scrape all the paint off every glass you've ever seen in your whole life and throw it in a bucket and drink it, and it wouldn't hurt you. But it was some level where they said, and I'm making up this detail, but we scraped enough paint off of 50,000 glasses and gave it to a rat and it wasn't good for it. And you go, okay. Like, I don't think I've ever just gnawed at one of these and eaten the paint off it, but, and also, I mean, this glass, if you look at the artwork on here, like there's no paint areas missing or anything. This glass is from 1978. So I'm going to tell you this right now. Everybody has their own opinion. But I rank the danger of drinking out of one of these glasses right up there. I probably said this because I've talked about different glasses. I just haven't talked about the McDonald's one. But it's right up there. I always say it's right up there with eating raw cookie dough. I'm just not afraid of it. Like, there are things I'm afraid of. Those are two things I'm not afraid of. I'm not afraid of eating cookie dough. Actually, now I am afraid of eating cookie dough. Not because I'll get salmonella poisoning, but because of those A1C numbers that I had my little diabetic scare. And now all my numbers are good. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't sit around eating raw cookie dough. But as afraid of I am as getting sick from eating raw cookie dough, that's how afraid I am of drinking out of these glasses. And I'm telling you what, I have many of these glasses. When I get duplicates, I have a collection like of all the first series of McDonald's glasses, and they are all up there on the shelf. And then when I get duplicates, they go in rotation. I drank yesterday out of one of these. There's one of them sitting right over there that I drank out of. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. So anyway, side tangent. So a friend of mine and I were having this discussion about the amount of lead and lead paint on these collectible glasses. And I was leaning back in my chair and I was looking at the glasses and I said, I have all these glasses, and I looked, and on this side of the Action Series collection, it goes Ronald McDonald, Grimace, Mayor McCheese, Captain Cook, Hamburglar. And I went, what? And I looked again, and there are two Mayor McCheese glasses side by side and no Big Mac glass. So for a long time, many years, I thought I had the complete collection, and I'm almost positive I know what happened. I'm pretty sure at some point I thought, I don't have the Big Mac glass, and I went on eBay and either accidentally typed Mayor McCheese, because it is, I don't know if they're related, but they are two different men who have cheeseburgers for heads. So either I typed the wrong thing in, or I typed Big Mac drinking glass and a Mayor McCheese glass came up and I just wasn't thinking and I bought it. So for a long time, I've had two Mayor McCheese glasses up there and no Big Mac glass. So it's the type of thing that nobody would ever notice, and I didn't notice for a long time, but now I know, and it's gonna drive me crazy. It's gonna drive him crazy, he said. So I went on eBay last week and I looked through, and these glasses, first of all, it's a glass. It's a drinking glass. Like, if there was nothing on this glass, it would be worth $0.25, So I'm just not willing to spend that much money. And if you look on eBay, there are people selling these for $12 and $14 and stuff. And it's just too much money. But I did find a guy that was selling it for basically $10 free shipping or best offer. And so I offered him $9, so that with tax it was $9.80 something. So it was under $10. Which is more than I really wanted to spend for one of these. But now it's like you're missing one for the collection. You got to finish the collection. So I paid about $9.85 and took a few days, but it arrived. Here it is. Again, this is the Big Mac Action Series glass, because he's doing action. Look, he's on those roller skates. I hope he's not speeding. Hope he's not doing 3 miles an hour, because the speed limit is very plainly marked at 2 miles an hour. I believe all of the glasses used 4-color printing. And so you could see on this one, of course, they all use 4-color printing, and 2 of the colors are always black and white. So you can see you've got black and white, and then blue, and then that orange color. That's the 4 colors on this glass. So here you go, 1978, I believe. Big Mac action drinking glass. And when I'm done with this video, I'm going to get my little step stool, get up on the shelf and put it right up there. And then I'm going to take that Mayor McCheese glass and put it in rotation. And I hope to drink Kool-Aid. I always call it Kool-Aid, but we don't get Kool-Aid anymore. We get sugar-free Crystal Light. But I'm going to call it Kool-Aid. So I hope tomorrow during lunch, I will have a glass full of Kool-Aid. By the way, if you want that picture to the right is one that I just found online. But if you don't know what that is, then I feel sorry for your childhood. But that is the Big Mac play piece that was in McDonald's playgrounds. And so it's kind of hard to tell scale, I guess. And you can't see the entire thing, but if you were tall enough, you could stand on the ground and you could look up into the little cage area. So you could stand outside. Now in his body down there was a cutout, like a big mouse hole. And kids could go in there, and inside there was a rung ladder, and then you could go up to, I'm trying to point here, but you could go into his head, basically, and his head was like a donut. So you came out that silver piece in the middle, and then you could go all the way around the head. So you'd get up in there, and kids would crawl on their hands and knees and chase each other. But at the very top, and you can't see it in that picture, but you could see it on his glasses, he had this hat, right? And so on top of that was his hat, and the ladder went all the way up into his hat, and there was a little cutout hole, and you could stick your face through like that. And so that was the best spot to be. If you were a kid, you'd climb all the way up in there and stick your head out and poke your eyes around, and you could see the whole playground. And that's the best place to hide when your mom would come in and say, all right, it's time to go. And this, I don't think these weren't around anymore by the time I had kids. But they had the newer style, because look how dangerous this is. This is literally just like metal and exposed bolts. Like if you didn't come home with carpet, AstroTurf burns on the indoor playground. I had AstroTurf on the ground. So if you didn't come home with burn marks on your knees or elbows or scrapes or cuts or something, you really weren't having fun on the playground there. So, that top hat, that was the place to go when your parents were like, all right, it's time to go. And then you'd scurry up that ladder, stick your head out through that thing. And it was kind of like, come get me, And then they were like, we're going to throw away your Happy Meal toy. And then you'd come right out. By the way, you could, I definitely remember doing this, weaseling my way out, between those bars. And because you could hop out that way. And I'm looking at that picture, and I don't imagine me ever being a size to be able to do that. So maybe the ones we had were slightly bigger, or some of the bars are missing on a part that I can't see in that picture. But I definitely remember doing that. It was tall enough that I couldn't go in that way, but you could definitely come out through that grating. So, man, I miss the McDonald's. I miss so much of my childhood, but I miss those playgrounds. And they do every now and then, if you know where to look, and sometimes it's on eBay, you'll find those playground pieces will come up for sale, and they are so expensive. I saw just these little benches that look like the Fry Guys, and it was a bench with the Fry Guys that I remember, and they were like $250, and they weren't in good shape because these were fiberglass, and they took abuse over time, so but man, if I could get one cheap enough, I'd probably buy it, because I'm insane. But then I would show it to you guys on Rando Rob. So anyway, I'm gonna spend my free time this week trying to dig out of the hole. So expect probably at least 2 podcasts this week. That's my goal. I'll be getting that stuff out ASAP. I know I've got some new subscribers, some new Patreon subscribers, so you'll be getting welcome stuff from me very soon. But just kind of had a rough go at it last week, but we're back on the train, so I will be contacting you guys, and I will be chatting with everybody or, virtually through podcast very soon. I'm not good at impromptu endings. So anyway, I will see you guys very soon.